Davis for the Atlee versus Lee Davis basketball game. We've got the Raiders and the Confederates. It's the first meet between these two teams this season. They had some pretty close games last year, but hopefully the Seafeds will come out on top. Let's see.
Thank you very much, Kayla Lipford, and here we go with the tremendous boys basketball matchup between the Atlee Raiders and the Lee Davis Confederates out at Lee Davis High School. And here we go with your highlights from this game. That's Atlee's Stephen Hurd getting things started with the big three-pointer. And then Lee Davis right here, the shot from Irving Jones is off, but Tariq Caldwell grabs the rebound and puts that one up for two. Stephen Hurd back outside for Atlee. That is another three-point basket. And then Brian Miller coming up here. He puts up two for the Raiders, and he's fouled on the play. And then Tim Hewlett here with the shot for Lee Davis. That's going to drop in. And then Atlee's Reed McCoy coming up right here with two. And Atlee would be up by 5 points at the end of the first quarter. Now we're going to move on to the second quarter. Irving Jones here from the outside with a nice basket for Lee Davis, but then Atlee really gets on a roll here. Brian Miller putting up two more, and he's fouled on the play. And then Miller coming up yet again right here, and he's going to add 2 more points for the Atlee Raiders. And then RJ Jenkins outside with the nice three-point shot right there. And then Rondell Ramsey coming up here with a nice basket for Lee Davis just before the half, and Atlee would take a 29-21 lead into halftime. So let's take you to the second half and see what would happen here. That's Atlee's Brian Miller with the spin and the shot. He led all scorers in this game with 19 points. And then Lee Davis's Irving Jones making a nice play right here with the jump shot. That's going to fall in for 2. And then more Lee Davis coming up right here. LaDarian Autry puts up a nice basket, and he's fouled on the play. He's fired up. More Atlee coming up here. Brett Ayer is going to make a nice basket for the Atlee Raiders. Atlee would take a 2-point lead into the final quarter, 36-34, a very close game, and Lee Davis keeping it close. That's Irving Jones with a tremendous basket to start out the fourth quarter. And then Autry's shot is off, but Ramsey with the rebound. He puts that one up for Lee Davis. Brian Miller coming up here with 2 more for the Raiders, and he's fouled on that play. This one back and forth throughout the fourth. And then Tariq Caldwell with the big basket for Lee Davis. And then, ladies and gentlemen, with 0.1 seconds on the clock, Lee Davis up by 1 point. The last chance for the Atlee Raiders. They cannot get the shot off, and that is how this game would end out at Lee Davis High School. The Confederates hang on to defeat the Raiders by 1 point. Your final score 43-42. The Lee Davis Asylum going crazy out there. A tremendous win for Lee Davis, and that definitely has to get their confidence up. We caught up with some of the Confederates after the game.
I think our last 3 matchups were Atlee to win in overtime, and we didn't want that again because anything can happen. But yeah, it was just important to get this win right when we needed it. Up 1 point with 0.1 seconds. You know, we just had to get this win.
We thought the game was over. Before that, they left 0.1 seconds on the clock, and then our coach told us to go his zone. And then we knew they were going to try and throw it in and get a tip in, and he just told us to try and block it. And I went through and I tipped the pass, and I got it out of bounds.
No matter how good each team is, it's always going to come down to the wire between these teams. We practiced yesterday on execution because of this. We know every time we play them, it's going to be the same thing every time. But we love it. This was a perfect atmosphere for high school basketball, and I'm glad my kids came out on top. They deserved it. They've been really working hard. Atlee is so well coached, and those kids play hard. So it was a great game for both teams.